In this video, you'll hear a health department interviewer conducting an interview with Matthew Thompson, a resident in your county who has been diagnosed with a salmonella infection. This video models how to navigate a situation where multiple family members are all ill with similar symptoms. Hello, may I speak with Matthew Thompson?
Yes, this is Matthew.
Hi, Matthew. My name is Allie. I'm an epidemiologist calling you from the Broome County Health Department. Is it an okay time to chat?
Yeah, sure. What about?
Great. I appreciate your time here. I'm just giving you a call today to talk about a recent illness and laboratory test. It sounds like you had taken maybe last week sometime.
Oh gosh, yeah, last week my whole family was real sick.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm giving you a call here from the health department because we follow up on cases that are diagnosed with certain infections that are classified as reportable conditions. Okay, great. Thanks for going through those questions. Next up, I have some questions about any others who might have been sick during this time. I know you mentioned that your family was also feeling ill. Did they have a similar illness to you?
Yeah, we all pretty much had the same thing, but I was the only one that went to the doctor.
Before asking for personal information about a case's contacts, make sure to clearly explain why you are collecting this information and that their responses will remain confidential. So, one of the things that we know about salmonella infections is that they're really easily spread among close contacts. This can happen in a lot of different ways. Sometimes everyone in a household might have eaten something that was contaminated with salmonella, or it's possible that one family member was exposed and then exposed others in the household. So, I just like to ask you some questions about your family and the illnesses that they had. We just ask this to understand a little bit more about what might have caused you all to become sick. So I just want to remind you that any responses you give will be kept confidential. Is it okay if I continue?
Sure, I think that's fine.
If a case has close contacts who have similar illnesses, it is important to collect as much information as possible about these contacts, including their names, dates of birth, relation to the case, contact information, onset date of their illness, and any common exposures they may have had with the case. Great. Really appreciate that. Could you tell me which of your family members were sick around the same time?
My wife and both of our kids all had it at some point.
Okay, got it. Do all of them live in the same household as you do?
Yep.
Okay. And is there anyone else in that household or just the four?
Nope, it's just the four of us.
Great. Do you remember what day each of your family members became sick?
That's hard. I don't remember exactly. Our son came home from school sick on Thursday. Then our other son started feeling sick over that weekend. My wife and I started feeling sick on that Wednesday I told you about.
Okay, got it. What are your wife and son's names?
My wife is Michelle, and our sons are Alex and Ben.
Great, thanks. So just to make sure I'm understanding the timeline here, it sounds like one of your sons began to feel ill on the Thursday before you did. Looking at a calendar, that would have been like Thursday, May 26th, if that sounds correct. Was that Alex or Ben that was sick during that time?
That was Ben.
Okay, great, got it. How about Alex? Do you remember which day he became sick? You mentioned, I know he started to feel sick maybe that weekend. Do you remember if it was the Saturday or the Sunday?
I'm not really sure. I was working that weekend, so I wasn't around those days to know 100%.
If a case doesn't know or remember details about their close contact's illness, ask if the contact is present to speak with directly. If they are not available, ask the case for their contact information and when that close contact might be available to speak to. Okay, that's okay. Are either of your sons or your wife by chance at home right now? Would it be possible for us to ask if anyone remembers which day Alex might have started to feel sick?
No, it's actually just me at home right now. My sons are at school and my wife is working today.
Okay, that's no problem. It would be really helpful though if we could confirm the onset date of Alex's illness. Is there maybe a time I could give you a call back when your other family members might be home to give that information?
Yeah, they should all be home by 6 p.m.
Okay, awesome. So for now, I'd like to, while I have you on the phone, ask some more of these questions, but would it be okay with you if I gave you another call around 6:30 tonight when the rest of your family is home?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, perfect. I really appreciate that. Is this phone number a good number to reach you all at tonight?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So another question here for you. Do you remember, we talked about your sons, do you remember what day your wife started to feel sick?
We both woke up with it on the same day. She was up a couple hours earlier than I was, but we both had it on that Wednesday.
Okay, got it. How about, do you remember which symptoms your wife and sons experienced when they were sick?
We all had diarrhea. Alex also said he had cramping like I did.
Okay, got it. So just a few more questions here about yours and your family's illness. First off, would you be willing to share your wife and son's date of birth?
I'm not sure I feel comfortable sharing that. Do you really need it?
If a case is hesitant to share personal information about ill contacts, it can be helpful to remind them why we collect the information and that their responses will remain confidential. Then attempt to collect as much information as possible during the call. Well, let me explain just a little bit more. I know this question can seem pretty personal. It's helpful for us to collect the dates of birth for any ill contacts that you might have. So that way we can have a way to confirm that we're referring to the right person. If you do feel comfortable sharing, I'll just remind you that all of the responses would be kept completely confidential.
Okay, that makes sense, but I need to talk to my wife first. She might not want me to share that.
Okay, that's just fine. I understand. For now, would you feel comfortable just sharing how old your family members are?
For sure. Alex is 15, Ben is 12, and my wife Michelle is 40.
Perfect. Even if a case has shared information about some ill individuals, be sure to ask if there are any others, including any close contacts they had outside of their household that might have had similar illnesses. I wonder, have you heard anything about anyone at your son's schools that was sick with similar symptoms during that week before your son Ben became sick?
Not that I know of. I didn't hear anything, but I'm not certain.
How about, is there anyone else that you know of outside of school, anyone else at all who was sick that might have had contact with you or your family?
Now that you mention it, Alex did spend some time with his aunt before he was sick, and I'm pretty sure she was covering from some stomach bug too.
Oh, got it. That's really helpful. What is Alex's aunt's name?
Her name is Jenny.
Okay, perfect. It would be really helpful for me to give Jenny a call and ask a few questions just to get an idea of, to confirm that she was feeling sick and ask some questions about her illness as well. Would you be willing to share her contact information so I could reach out to her?
I'm not really sure if she would want me to share that with you. She doesn't really like to share personal information with people she doesn't know. I don't think I feel comfortable sharing her number.
After attempting to gather contact information, you may still find that a case is uncomfortable sharing personal information about close contacts. In this scenario, ask the case to share your phone number with their contact so that they may reach out to you directly. Okay, I understand. Would you be willing to reach out to Jenny yourself and just confirm with her what dates she was feeling sick and what symptoms she had? Also, if it's okay with you, I would really appreciate it if you could pass along my number and see if she'd be willing to give me a call directly to answer some questions. Would that sound okay to you?
Yeah, I can do that.
Before asking for personal information about a case's contacts, make sure to clearly explain why you are collecting this information and that their responses will remain confidential. If a case has close contacts who have similar illnesses, it is important to collect as much information as possible about these contacts, including their names, dates of birth, relation to the case, contact information, onset date of their illness, and any common exposures they may have had with the case. If a case doesn't know or remember details about their close contact's illness, ask if the contact is present to speak with directly. If they are not available, ask the case for their contact information and when that close contact might be available to speak to. If a case is hesitant to share personal information about ill contacts, it can be helpful to remind them why we collect the information and that their responses will remain confidential. Then attempt to collect as much information as possible during the call. Even if a case has shared information about some ill individuals, be sure to ask if there are any others, including any close contacts they had outside of their household that might have had similar illnesses. After attempting to gather contact information, you may still find that a case is uncomfortable sharing personal information about close contacts. In this scenario, ask the case to share your phone number with their contact so that they may reach out to you directly.